Hello IST 360 students. My name is Caroline Manny and I am the library liaison for your class. And in this video I am going to show you the research guide I made to help you with your projects this semester. I'm going to show you a few search tips and then I will show you how to use some of the tools that are in the research guide.
This is the research guide that I have created to help you with your project this semester. The URL appears on your screen now, and it will also appear in the description of this YouTube video. You'll notice that the guide has 3 tabs: useful keywords, general resources, and assignment-specific sources. Let's look at the useful keywords tab first, which is where this video will be after I have completed it. When I approach a research project, I usually start in the library catalog to do some exploratory research and get some background information. In this instance, I am going to use the search term pandemic response because that's your first assignment, to investigate the pandemic response in the country that you chose to become the expert for. And I'm going to use Germany as my test country. So I am going to type in pandemic response Germany. And that gives me 1,032 results in the catalog. There's 2 problems with that. One, that's too many results. There's no way you're going to sit there and look through 1,000 results. And 2, the reason it's too many results is because the way that I have done my search, pandemic response Germany, is going to give me all the results with just the word pandemic, all the results with just the word response, as you can see right here, and all the results with the word Germany. All 3 of those separately in one set of results. But I want the results that are related to the pandemic response as a phrase, a set phrase, in the country of Germany. If I want to get pandemic response to be searched as a phrase instead of 2 separate words, I need to put that in quotes. If I did that, then I would get better results than the ones that I got. For example, I might get more results like this one that is actually applicable to the topic that I'm searching. So that's search tip number 1. If you're searching for phrases, put your phrase in quotes. Here's search tip number 2. As you're exploring your topic and you put in your initial search inquiries like pandemic response in Germany, pay attention to the good results that you get and the way that they phrase in the titles of the articles or in the subject terms that you can see when you actually look at the article. Take a look at the terminology that they use. I used pandemic response, for example. The title of this article uses the term pandemic preparedness. Keep a list of those types of synonyms for your search term and then go back and repeat your search using those terms to see what new results you get. That will expand your results and help you narrow in on the types of results that you want. To help you with that, in your research guide, I put together a list of some of the search terms that I found to be most useful when I was trying to put together this guide. So you may want to use some of these. Now let's look at some assignment-specific sources that you will find useful when you're doing your research. For the first stage of your project, you will be investigating the political climate in your country, how it works as a political entity, and then you will be looking for information about that country's response to the COVID pandemic. Some good resources for getting information about the political situation in your country are the CIA World Factbook. When you go to the CIA World Factbook, you'll scroll down to one-page country summaries, find the country that you'd like more information about. So using my test country, I would go to the G's and find Germany. Click on that link, and I get an overview of how that country works politically. If I need more information, I can also use a reputable encyclopedia online, such as the Oxford Reference Online that I've linked here. And another great resource, both for country background information and for information about how your country responded to the COVID pandemic, is the library database World News Digest. So let's take a second and look at that. This is the World News Digest. If you're at the stage of your project where you are searching for coronavirus response information, you can click on the Coronavirus Updates dashboard, or you can search for COVID or coronavirus pandemic response and your country name here in the search bar. Or you can click on these three lines right here, this drop down, and you can go to by country, and then you can search for your country in countries A through Z, again using Germany as our test country. If I click on Germany right here, I will get if I click here on View Country Overview, I will get a very complete source of information about the political history and the current political situation in Germany. And if I go back, I can see the news that is most current in Germany and find information about the country's response to the COVID pandemic. So World News Digest is going to be your go-to resource for the first stage of your project. If I go to the second stage of your project, I would look here, how does healthcare work in your country? There are a variety of sources here that you'll want to use. The first one is Who Country Briefs. If you click on that, this one is fairly straightforward. It takes you directly to the countries page. This link takes you directly to the countries page, and you simply search alphabetically for your country, and you get a good deal of information, statistics, and country health metrics summarized right here on one single page. So that's a great resource. You might also use the Population Reference Bureau. For this website, you're going to want to go to Data and then International Data. Once you are on the International Data page, you can click on the Indicators drop-down to look for specific types of information about that country, like, for example, the infant mortality rate or the total mortality rate, that type of information. Or you can click on regions or countries and look for your country there and get information about your country. You may also want to look at the International Health Policy Center. Once I get to that website, I want to scroll down and go to the Country Profiles link and view all profiles. Then I will look for my country. And this gives me very thorough information about how the country deals with healthcare and its healthcare system and how that system works. So this is a fabulous, very thorough, not just statistics, but also the functioning of healthcare source of information. Another great tool that you might find to get more information about how healthcare works in your country is Measure DHS. When I go to that website, I land here, and in order to find the information you want to go to Data and Online Tools. And once you are there, you want to go to Country Quick Stats, and you'll look for your country either by region or alphabetically. And this site in particular is great for some of the smaller non-European Union countries. So in this case, I'll pick Bolivia as my test subject. And when I scroll down, I get all sorts of valuable health statistic information. A final tool that you might use are the IHME country profiles. This one's pretty easy. When I open that one, I land here. I use the drop down, choose the country that I'm interested in. I'll go back to my test subject, Germany. And again, I get information on mortality rates, causes of death, causes of premature death, causes of disabilities, and so forth. Moving to the third stage of your research project, where you'll be looking at historic responses to healthcare crises, you may want to search for newspaper articles, popular sources, in which case you would again use World News Digest, which I've already shown you. Or you might want to search for scholarly information, in which case you would use Science Direct. Science Direct is a very straightforward search. You could put in the name of a past pandemic that you were interested in researching, like, for example, MERS, which was not a pandemic, it was an epidemic, but it had the potential to become a pandemic, and your country of interest, like Germany. Click search, and that will give you scholarly articles that have to do with that virus in your country. You could probably make that a better search by putting in MERS response or one of those types of search terms and your country. Then for the final stage of your project, before you turn in your full portfolio, you'll be doing a deeper dive into COVID in your country and how it affected things like economics, elections, displaced populations, particular groups like, for example, minorities or the LGBTQ community, those types of things. Again, World News Digest might be a good source for popular information. For economic information, the IMF COVID Policy Tracker is a great source. This link opens up specifically to policy responses to COVID-19, and these are all economics related. So I could go to G for my test country, Germany, scroll until I find Germany, and I will get a narrative on the economic responses that Germany made to the COVID-19 crisis. As you choose your topic, you can explore some of the rest of these sources, like the IMF COVID Policy Tracker. They are each specific to one aspect of your possible research topic. But one that is more general that I want to show you to wrap up this presentation is think tank search. When I click on think tank search, that takes me to the Harvard Kennedy School think tank Google search. And what this does is it searches think tanks, which are organizations, reputable organizations that provide policy briefings and policy analysis to organizations, corporations, politicians, and so forth. So if I type in, for example, Germany, COVID, and elections, then I will get information from a variety of reputable think tanks on the impact of the COVID pandemic on elections in Germany. This is a great way to search for reliable information from a wide variety of sources. If, as you're doing your research for these 4 stages of your project or for your final portfolio, if you need any help finding information or identifying keywords to get you more useful results, you can contact me. If you go to your research guide, you'll find that you can either click this link to email me. If you email me your question, just give me some details about what type of information you're having trouble finding and what country you're focusing on. Then I can help you via email. Or if you'd like, you can click on schedule an appointment. And when you do that, you just pick the day that you'd like to meet with me. And these are my available times on that day. You pick one of those times, click continue, and sign up for an opportunity to meet me. That emails me, and I will get in touch with you at that time via Zoom. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you find your research guide helpful. If I can do anything to help you, email me or schedule an appointment to Zoom with me. Thank you.